they knew who they were. Click that where you at.
Which one you want me to go on? Oh, the black and
It don't
more?
matter. There now. See that? Click that. Blow that up. Let the people see what that is.
All right, hold on. Let me save it enough. Oh yeah, baby. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We in the building with the brother legendary Rod Haynes, man. You got to get in the building with us.
So now this is getting back to Yaqub and getting back to the Jews. This is where we going with this now. We're going back to Yaqub, and Yaqub is taking us to the Jews.
Where damn Jerry at, bro? So I can blow it up.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just trying to wake the people up, that's all.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And I am, first of all, let me say that I am, have been a follower of your work ever since I first came across you. I mean, a few months back. I don't know how many months that was, but the thing that got me was I heard you mention Grand Sheik Taj Tariq, and you were talking about how he had been saying what what you were saying. He had been saying it for like 30, 40 years, and we still hadn't gotten it. And I said, okay, I mean, make sure his name was being mentioned in a good context, because there's so many haters out there that don't appreciate and respect what he's doing. But that got me, and from then you had me from at that point.
So Taj has been pretty consistent in what he's been teaching. We were under a contract. The contract, we didn't make the contract, first of all, but the contract was written in the blood of one of our elders.
Okay.
So no blood of the righteous shall be spilled in vain. So my job as I grow is to watch the elders across the land and what they're doing. I have to be able to read them the same way as I read a book.
Wow.
So Taj's been telling them how to navigate the contract, because we wasn't supposed to be affected by the contract. That was a whole nother.
What contract are we talking about?
The contract, we know it today, is the Constitution. The Constitution is a blood oath agreement of Scottish Rite Freemasons under Albert Pike, right? Who is George Washington with a shaved beard.
So you're trying to say they pulled an okie doke on us?
Yeah, George Washington was my complexion, probably a little lighter if he was lighter. He was originally from Barbados, and his last name wasn't Washington; it was Washita. But what happened was the Scottish Rite Moors, who were in exile from Spain, challenged us to a conjure war. And the conjure war was to have us pit against the chiefs with the feathers and the elves with the fezzes to establish who was the wisest on the land. And George Washington, I did a lecture on this last night on my page, by the way, where I went into detail about how we got deceived.
Well, can you share a bit of that, do a little bit of a recap for us, so we can, because one thing, I don't know if the audience caught it, but you said you mentioned two kinds of Moors. You said the Moors with the chiefs.
The term Moor is what you call a catch term in grammar. A catch term is you got different people or different subject or idea in multiple language. But when you translate it into the new language, you need a term that's going to encompass all of these different ideas.
Okay.
Right? So the term Moor, it was the catch term for the More, the Moreno, Morisco, the Amur, Inca, the Amore, Amaru. All of those terms in English is rendered as Moor in translation. But they're not the same people.
Okay, not the same. Explain. Because we try to think that they're all the same, we're just in different places, but you...
Because that's how they was... So in the Conjure War, if ones with the feathers is the ones who is the defenders, the black piece on the chessboard. The ones who are in the fezzes came over, they were white, the white pieces on the chessboard. The white man ain't white. The white man look like us.
Okay.
Right? Now, over here in modern times, some of our elders can halfway see them and they call them Negropeans. Right? So what they doing is they following the biblical blueprint of Jacob, undermining Esau, the ruddy red one, right? But they different people. But they don't want us to know this because we have what they call first right to the earth right. In other words, the women on the land over here are the ones who have the right to reclaim the earth at the close of the age. And we had to raise the matriarchy. And in order to raise the matriarchy, we have to put the pieces together of what happened, who did, where they done it at, how they done it, who was involved, who we are, who they are. So let's take Empress Tierra Gostin El Bay, Empress Verdiasi. She had L and she had Bay on her name. That means that the knowledge that she possessed, she could take feathers from a bay or fez from an L in order to reclaim the land. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And her bloodline ties straight back to Noble Drew Ali, same blood, Cherokee Nation, Washita, Didong, the mound builders of ancient. Now, all the time, they over here in our midst. Just the wheat and the chaff story.
You talked about that, yeah.
Right. They look like us, but they don't treat each other like we do. Right. There was a certain code on the land over here. You could tell the people from the land because no matter what happened, they follow that code. That's what you call righteousness. The code of righteousness is written in your heart. They call it those who follow the golden rule, the golden ones. Right? Mm-hmm. And we were the ones with the feathers. This is the Thanksgiving memorial. Because we had to know that the turkey was the symbol for the chief. In the harvest festival, the women cooked the chief a turkey. They took the harvest festival, then they murdered us on Black Friday. Mm. So it's not Thanksgiving that's not part of our culture. It's Black Friday that's the damning of a nation.
So they stop just a minute. So what you're saying is the day when before what we're going through the last couple of years, folks ran out and purchased everything and got all these deals and so forth is actually a day that commemorates the murdering of our chiefs. So the Thanksgiving, when folks say the Thanksgiving is not ours, that was ours, but it was what happened the day after.
That didn't have nothing. That wasn't ours. They gave that to us whether we wanted it or not, and called it Black Friday. That's when the wars initiated. When they killed off the elders, and there's nobody to teach the children. Right? It's all in morals and dogma. It's the ones who follow the moral code written in their heart versus the ones who follow the dogma that is taught out in the open.
So when you talk about the dogma taught out in the open, are we talking quote unquote religious dogma or this?
Yes.
Okay.
So remember in Circle 7, Noble Drew Ali wrote a chapter called Religious Controversy. Now, why is that in there? Why is it important to know about the religious controversy? Because that shit didn't have nothing to do with us. We fighting over it. We fighting if we're going to be Christians, Muslims, or Hebrews, and we wasn't none of that shit.
Yeah. They're talking in the chat. I mentioned in the chat, they hear the static that's coming from you. So I don't know. We tried to get rid of it before we went live, y'all. So we're going to do the best we can. We were talking prior and it was clear. As soon as we got ready to go live, the static came. So y'all know how it is, any kind of little interference. So please bear with us. Just listen real close, turn up your sound or whatever. But,
you want me to try to go out and come back in? We could probably get a better link, connection.
Okay, if you'd like to do that, let's stick it in there because it popped up all of a sudden.
Okay, let me see if we can get a better connection.
Okay, all right, y'all. Thank you all for your patience. Listen, while he's getting it back, share this link, please. This is a special broadcast, and the brother's gonna drop some stuff. Please, please, please share right now. Share as far as you can. Tell everybody to get on. Let me see how it sounds right now.
How was it? How was the sound?
Sounds good to me right now. So let's hold on to that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So yeah. So yeah, just let everybody know. I want to see 1,000 in the chat. We've had more than 1,000. So come on. Let them so we can all know this, get this knowledge. I have given you, Brother Hayes, another name, a nickname, or like a tag, and I call you the record keeper. Among the other things that you did, you're an activist, but I call you the record keeper because whenever we have talked over the last week or so, you just have such a barrage of, just a plethora of information and knowledge, and it just flows out of you just so natural. We talked about how you study we talked about the similarities between you and Grand Sheik on how you absorb yourself into things. But you just have, it's like you were endowed or endued and viewed with the gift of retaining or to get the information, the knowledge of the records, and to bring it back. Like I should have called you Brother Akashic. You got so much up in you.
Yeah, that might upset my sister Cashin, so don't do that.
Oh, I don't mean no disrespect. I mean no disrespect, but I just know that when you and I have spoken, it has been just, I just get filled up with the knowledge that comes out. But let's go back. You're back on. So let's get back where we were. We were talking about what were we talking about? My goodness, you know where you were. I want you to get back on that because we're the different Moors. When you talked about the white man isn't the white that we know that they're not white, but you're saying that there were so-called white men, but they look like us, but they were not us. Am I correct?
Right.
There you go.
So they were called conquistadors. Okay. We know them in the history books as blackamoors.
Okay.
Right. And this is the reason why they was kicking our ass for so long. They used pale faces to block the institution so that we didn't know what was being done to us. They was doing everything in secret. That goes against the rules of the land over here.
Okay.
Right? So because they was doing it in secret and we couldn't get in the lodges, we invited half of Europe to come over here to flood the lodges with the same motherfuckers that kicked them out over there. Wow. Because they had the pale face, they could get in. Once they got in, then they can give us, we call it flip out. They can flip out the secrets into the public domain.
Now, who is us? Because now are we talking about the Moors that were not us, or us, the ones of the land, the people of the land?
We wasn't called Moors.
Okay.
Right? We was already here.
All right.
Right? So we over here refer to them as black devils.
Mm.
Right? Because they are our sworn enemy. We didn't swear to be their enemy because we was kind-hearted, loving people who accepted everybody with open arms. They hugged us and then stabbed us in the back. Right?
And they're amongst us now, aren't they?
Yes.
Goodness.
Right? Some of them is some of your favorite activists that's been trying to get us to take up arms against pale people, but never letting us know that the people behind it, their skin ain't pale. They come out of the Scottish Rite Lodge, but we got blindsided by the group of Scottish Rite Freemasons that came in under Albert Pike.
So was Albert Pike sent in by the blackamoors to?
So he was what you call a double agent and a turncoat. So they knew that our people with the feathers and the people with the feathers was going to have amnesia during the 200-year duration of the contract because of the blood oath. We didn't make the blood oath. We didn't volunteer our people for the blood oath. They done it on their own. They murdered Crispus Attucks and wrote the Constitution in his blood because they know no blood of the righteous shall be spilt in vain. The contract had to be fulfilled. It expired July the 4th, 2019. And the ones who was to alert us was what we call Republicans, the Elephant Lodge. The Elephants is the one who was loyal to Big Mama.
Who was Big Mama? For those
In ancient Egypt, we called her Tawaret. Big Mama is source creator, the dark mother, represented as the darkness of space, or what they call the primordial noon, right? So when they came over here, we didn't know what was going on because we didn't have anything to do with none of the deals being made. And if you want to know more about that, you have to read David Walker's appeal when he was talking to the other chiefs on the land about these people that's in so-called bondage. They look like us, but the other elders was telling him, them people not us. Stay out of it, don't got nothing to do with us. And he couldn't understand why we don't get in it. Over time, the amnesia allowed us to be deceived. Once we was deceived, they told us we was the same people when we came on ships from Africa. When you go back and look at the history book, when the Moors got kicked out of Spain, they went to something called the Maghreb. The Maghreb was northwestern Africa. And that's why in the dogma they tell us that this is northwestern Africa, because they're trying to identify with the land so that they can claim our birthright.
So when you say they say this, meaning what they call a Mexim or America is also Northwest Africa.
But it ain't.
What you say is not. So it has nothing to do with the super devere that happened with the split and all that stuff. That the
no
shift and none of that.
That's the dogma.
Really?
The dogma is designed to make us believe that we the same people and to follow the fezzes to our own destruction and to do away with the feathers for good.
So the fez that most Moors wear is the symbol of the black Moors. If that am I correct? I'm trying to follow this, and not you might get some feedback, pushback, because everybody's wearing their fez, and
But this is the problem. This is the problem now. Just like they was trying to make us forget who we was, we had to send chiefs in to take the fezzes from them. This is the chess game. So I can't tell the good Moor to take his fez off. He won that position by confronting the enemy directly.
Okay.
So he have to wear the fez, even though I can look in his face and know he's Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Crow. I know what he is, but I still gotta honor him wearing the fez, because in order for him to get his rank, he have to dethrone one of the fez wearers. And the only way to dethrone him is by superior knowledge and wisdom. And the only way that's proven is by direct confrontation with him.
And did we? Did we?
Yeah, we won. Our people just don't know we won yet.
Well, so we won. People don't know it. It almost sounds like Juneteenth. Like you're so-called, you've been emancipated, but you don't know it, so you still. And I know that's probably a fictitious thing too. But
the Emancipation Proclamation that's when they took the private property servitude or slaves or indentures and put them in what they call the public domain and made them wards of the collective state.
So
it's just a transfer.
Wasn't doing anything for the so-called melanated slaves. It was an administrative move
to take the slaves out of the hand of private owners and put them into the corporate jurisdiction of what we call the United States Corporation. The United States Corporation is a merger of something called the Northwest Trading Company and the Virginia Company. At the time, the Almorac was a royal company out of Spain that they called Morocco, but it didn't have any land. It wasn't tied to land. It was tied to a charter of a what they call letters patent decree by the Crown of England. Well, in this case, it was the Crown of France.
So the so-called the treaty that is often quoted, cited, the peace and friendship.
That was a corporate agreement from the Crown to the CEO of the Almorac.
Okay.
It wasn't no Morocco. It was no country called Morocco.
I realized that. So, we're told that there was something over here that deeded or gave them, ceded them some kind of a use to do commerce on the land. But we do know that Morocco, as we know it today, didn't become a whatever country, state, or whatever until what 19 in the 1900s, right?
You ever hear Malcolm X say, "We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us"?
Absolutely have.
Do you remember hearing about a ship that came from Europe called the Plymouth?
That I did not.
Okay, look it up. It's a ship. Well, the ship ran into a sandbar in the bay near DC.